Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. As always, I am your host, Suleman, and today I am joined by Nicole Mitchell. Nicole is the lead trainer
processor.
lead processor. Sorry.
Not fair.
She's the lead processor at Uncovering Greatness, and what she does is she helps you get out of the way of you. I think most people would not admit it, but you are probably the one person in your way. You're the common denominator in most of your problems. But I will allow Nicole to probably give herself a better intro than I just did. How are you doing, Nicole?
Good, thank you, Suleman. It is good to be with you today. And yeah, I think just on that, most people want to be more, have more, and do more, but they can't understand why they don't have it. And so what I do is I help you find either the losses or the trauma or the wins or the positive things that have happened that are stopping you from getting what you want. And so that's why we say, I help you get yourself out of the way of you, because for most people, they don't think it's them that's stopping themselves. They blame other people. And it's really easy to blame other people, to say, Suleman, you're the reason why I didn't get a promotion, because you got it instead of me.
Yeah.
So it's your fault. It's way easier to do that than to actually acknowledge that I am the reason I didn't get a promotion, because I didn't do X, Y, and Z. And instead of going, what can I learn from it and get better, and put my attention on something else, we just blame Suleman and go, Suleman's
the enemy.
It's his fault and he's the reason, and we don't look at ourselves, and then we can't understand why we then move on and still don't get the promotion, because we didn't, we're not willing to look at ourselves. So it's very, like for me, if you're not getting what you want in your life, pretty much I can help you get what you want.
Yep.
As long as it's legal, ethical, and moral.
That's important, right?
But I say that what I do is I help you clean up all the things that are stopping you, so that you can have more, be more, and do more of the things that you want.
I think something that's very important to clean up, because I feel like people might get stuck on it. You said even the positive things. So I'm sure people are watching and they're going, how can a positive thing stop me from having what I want? Isn't that supposed, aren't positive things only positive, like they just make life
amazing, wonderful?
It's me and the unicorns, and life is great because it's positive. How can a positive be bad for me?
And it's such a great question, because often there is something that could be totally unrelated. So let's say, I think that, there's so many different things that can happen, but as we know, life happens. So a positive can be as simple as I was doing, our cricket team did super well, we won the competition, super excited, and I get home and let's say my grandmother had a heart attack. Okay, and now I'm went from a high this big to a low down here, and our brain doesn't separate out the two incidents. Our brain doesn't go, this cricket was one thing, and my grandmother was another thing. Our brain goes, because I won,
I lost.
My grandmother had a heart attack, so I don't ever want to win again, because I don't want to have a loss again.
And you repeat it, would you say? Unintentionally.
Well, so what happens, it can often go, it can go various different ways.
Okay.
So what we can do is stop ourselves from having success. I think the example in our last podcast that I used was, I get super fit and I'm looking really good, and it's a real positive, and I'm doing really well, and I'm looking really hot because I'm exercising and I've lost weight and I'm feeling great. And maybe my boyfriend's friend says to me, you're looking hot. Or maybe it's my boss or somebody that shouldn't be looking at me.
Yes, got you.
And then I go, oh, I don't want to be in that space again.
It's my fault.
It's my fault that I look good, so I don't want to get fit and healthy again. So then years later, that I completely forget about that incident. I'm now a little bit overweight and I go, I need to get healthy. And as I start to get healthy, I get sick. And, oh gee, and then I start, okay, so then I come back and I start running and then I hurt my ankle. Because now it's all the subconscious things that are stopping me. It's buried so deep in my subconscious that those subconscious things are actually stopping me, and they create other diversions so that I don't get fit
Success.
or have the success in that area. So whether it's winning a cricket match and granny dies, or whether it's even smaller than that, simple as I look good and somebody says something that makes me feel uncomfortable or something, I'm like, oh, I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah. And, it's funny, I was thinking about it now. I feel like for the past couple of months, our episodes have been about dispelling buzzwords right now.
Okay.
And while you were speaking, I was thinking about, because what people would say is, isn't that self-sabotage? Right? I believe, in my opinion, is that people have taken self-sabotage and went, so I want to get fit, but I had that incident where somebody who wasn't supposed to tell me I look hard told me that, and then I go to the gym again because I'm now put on weight, and I work out, I intentionally hurt myself because now I have a and the way you explain it, that doesn't sound like self-sabotage. I mean, I would feel, based on what you just said, self-sabotage is so unintentional. It's so deep in your subconscious that you have zero control over it.
A lot of times it's unknowingly, because it's in our subconscious. We don't even realize that we're self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
And we don't even have the knowledge. And people around us are looking at us going, we're just waiting for that accident to happen. We're waiting for you to get sick because, it always comes, and you're like, no, that doesn't happen.
Not me.
Not to me. I never get sick. And then somebody points out, but every 3 months you get sick, and you're like, no, I don't. That does. And then you start looking, and you're going, oh shit. Maybe they're. Imagine that the people around me may be right.
That's terrifying. That's crazy.
But what happens is, people are not stuck in your emotional upset, so they can see.
Okay.
You can't, because you're stuck in
you're
fog
in the tornado.
of the tornado that's going on.
So everybody else is looking like there's a tornado there. You're like, no, there isn't.
Because you are the freaking tornado. But that's exactly what happens, and so that's why it's so hard for people to look at it, because we're in it, so we actually can't see it. We don't see the self-sabotage. It's not until somebody points it out to us that we go, no, it's not like that. And then you go, maybe it is.
Yeah. You have to start putting some awareness on it, but also have some acceptance of understanding, which is like, oh damn, actually I'm doing that, versus, no, I'm not. You're never going to get out the tornado. You're going to continue being the tornado that you are, because for you it's like, that's not true, right?
100%. So it's having, one is the awareness, and then the second part of that is some people have the awareness of, I get sick every 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for me to get sick. It's just the way I am. So they have the awareness of it, but they're not willing to take responsibility for it or change it. So they go, oh, that's just the way it is. They come to terms with, I know that that's my pattern, and it's just, I just have to live with that.
Yeah. Sorry, we had a different topic planned when we started, so I'm going to just get to that before I forget. I was about to ask
it is similar.
I was going to ask another question around what you were saying, and I was like, wait, man, I wanted to ask you something else when we started the show. So what I wanted to ask you about, which is what I've been seeing a lot of, and reading and listening to a lot of around the world. And also, we just came out of January, so that's a big deal as well. Let's not forget all that.
Yep.
You all made it. See, you're fine.
Through the 6 months of
nothing happened.
and you got paid, and you got all these things, and you're still surviving.
You're still going.
Still going.
Well done. Congratulations. Good job. But a lot of what I've been seeing is people dealing with workplace trauma, right? And things that happen at work that, for lack of a better word, that you can't get past.
So it's pretty much the same thing that we're discussing.
Yeah.
So if we put it into a workplace context, I got a really great promotion when I was 50. I don't know, when I was 21.
Yeah.
And my best friend said, can't believe you got that. You're so young. You should never have got a promotion like that. Completely innocent. And she may have been right.
Probably, yep. You weren't prepared. There's a bunch of different...
And I'm going, oh, now I start to feel guilty for getting promoted in my organization. And so a positive then becomes a negative. Because somebody said something, it turned on a whole bunch of emotion. Now I'm feeling guilty. Oh, and she's going, oh, you probably stole, not all the person's job.
Somebody more deserving.
No, and the truth behind it is, I was the right person for the job. I worked really hard. I studied. I did all the right things. I even took responsibility at work, took way more responsibility than a 35-year-old, so I deserved the promotion. But if I get lost in all the emotion of, and the guilt of, you stole somebody else's job, and I go,
that's a bad one.
Yeah, 21, maybe I shouldn't be earning more than someone at 35, and I feel so bad now. So what do is I make sure that I never get another promotion again. Because I don't want to experience the guilt, the sadness,
It's like, even if you were to get to 35, which is what you perceived as the age where somebody should get a promotion, you get to 35 and you're like, nah, that's for people who are 50, not for me.
Correct.
Okay.
And so what happens is I spend all this time blaming everybody else as to why I didn't get a promotion. Well, it's Mary's fault, because Mary's younger than me and she got the promotion and she didn't deserve it. And then I go, oh, this person, and then I do the same thing to Mary, and I go, Mary, do you realize that you stole so-and-so's job? And unknowingly I go around and I knock all these people for getting promotions because I got one at 21, and I resist getting a promotion. And then what does that do? It creates workplace trauma, and then everyone's going, I don't understand why you didn't get the promotion, Nicole, because you're the right person for the job. And you're going, yeah,
I told you.
I told you. I knew I wasn't going to get a promotion. I knew that they were going to promote Mary before they promoted me, And I start literally speaking into existence the very thing that I didn't want. And so because I didn't acknowledge the positive things that actually happened to me, that I worked hard, who knows what happened in my life, maybe, I spent all my time studying and researching X, and when I got put in the job, because I had all that knowledge, I was the right person.
Yeah.
But if I don't acknowledge the positive things, it's going to create an upset.
Okay.
And then I get small because I go into the guilt, the sadness, the disappointment. The opposite is true if I get a promotion and I didn't deserve it. And I look at me, I'm so great, I'm so amazing, I'm wonderful, I did X, Y, and Z. Now I'm not willing to look at the negative things.
That I probably shouldn't have gotten this based off A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, makes sense.
And so what happens is all these things, when you are not willing to look at both sides, the negative and the positive, it creates an upset. And then further down the line, that upset is still sitting in our subconscious, and then we self-sabotage unknowingly, and then we blame, it's the workplace.
Yeah.
It's my boss. My boss doesn't like me. My boss is the problem. My boss is such an idiot. My boss this, my boss that.
Yeah.
I'm going to resign. And then we go find another job, and then the same things happen.
This boss is an idiot as well.
I can't believe that I'm working for a company that has the same idiot running it as the last company I worked for.
So clearly all bosses are idiots.
So all bosses
If
are
I was
idiots.
the boss, I wouldn't be an idiot like them.
Correct. So it could happen. And then sometimes there's a break in that chain, and somebody, you get somebody who just goes, somebody super nice who sees your value, and before you can self-sabotage, they promote you. You break the chain and you go, oh wow. But you have to be out of the environment. So that's why people job hop, because they go to the next one and the next one, and they're hoping that there's going to be a break in the chain.
Okay, so I'm looking to break the chain by moving.
Yes.
Got you. So I'm moving the chain.
So instead of I am the chain,
Okay. Oh, okay.
I can change it myself. People are looking for somebody else or something else to change it for them. And sometimes that happens, but you essentially give control to everybody else, and you have no control when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about it also from like the aspects of like I've got to make, let's just say I've got to make phone calls. Or no, I've got to do leads. Let me actually make it more relevant to what I do. Phone calls. I've got to do leads. And last year, my target was 1,600 leads for the year. And I got 1,400. And nobody made me feel useless. Let me put that there. I made myself feel useless. But this is not what happened. I'm just giving an example.
Just an example.
I felt like I was self-processing there for a moment. What's going on? Nobody made me feel like I didn't achieve or anything like that. New Year starts. I'm immediately, instead of going, I'm going to do 1,600 leads again, actually I'm going to do 1,000 leads, or I'm going to do 500 leads, because I didn't achieve it last year. So what's the chances I'm going to achieve it this? So would you say that within the workplace, people create their own sort of trauma by because of an incident that happened once, that was not really a big deal, you've exploded it into something else?
So just a disclaimer,
It's always a big deal.
always important to understand that we are giving different scenarios that can happen or may happen, but don't always happen.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not a textbook that says if you do A, it will give you B.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't, we are giving,
responsible.
yes.
Yeah.
So we are giving you examples of what could happen.
Yeah.
Not what, and based on our experiences, but our experiences are different from yours.
Yes.
And so you may have a different, so, some people will not hit the 1,400, not hit the 1,600 leads, and they'll go off and go, flippin' hell, that is never going to happen to me again. I will make sure come hell or high water that I get the 1,600. And they'll go off and they'll
do whatever
it takes the next year to make sure that they don't land up in that situation.
Yeah.
Okay. In the case you're talking about, what happened is you go, flip, I didn't get 1,400. Oh man, I'm so useless. Sorry, I didn't get 1,600. I only got 1,400. Oh man, I'm so useless. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the next thing. Well, if I just keep going the way I'm going, next year I won't even get to 1,400, I'll only get 1,000. So I might as well set my target at 800 because I don't want to feel like this, and I don't want to feel so shit, and I don't want to be depressed. And if Barry hadn't have put all that pressure on me to get 1,600, and if he'd only given me the task of 1,400, then I would be feeling better. And it's Barry's fault, because he made me push myself, and he should have known I wouldn't have. Okay, so we immediately go into the negative, and so we focus on all the negative things instead of going, wow, last year I only managed to get, 600. I more than doubled my numbers.
Yep.
Wow. I didn't get to 1,600, but man, we did so good as an organization to get to 1,400. Okay, so what are some of the things that we did well? Okay, what are some of the things that we didn't do well? Where did we drop the ball? How could we get, okay, great. So now I've looked at the negative things of I dropped the ball here, but I also won here. Now I'm going, I can come back and I can go, wow, let me keep going.
Yeah.
But more often than not, it's hard to look at yourself and go, I didn't, there was that 1 month that I dropped the ball. And I actually, in that 1 month, I only got 5 leads because the campaign ended and I didn't realize it was ending. I didn't check it. So that was the first week. Then it took me another whole week to get the campaign going. Then I realized that I had forgotten this button on Facebook. So by the time I got everything fixed, I only got 5 leads for the month. Shit. I really dropped the ball there. Okay, well, how do I fix that? Well, I make sure that I'm always clear and I draw it up on my wall when a campaign's ending, in terms of, so now I've got a system to make sure that I get better. Well, flippin' heck, to do 1,400 leads when I had 1 month when I got 5. Look, that's amazing. Like, wow. Okay, cool, now I can get better because I'm learning. But if we're not taking the time to stop and acknowledge all those things, we can blame, justify. Well, Barry always puts so much pressure on us, and it's Barry, you know what, I'm done. I need to find a new boss because this one
it's too much
for me. But then you go to the next one and the same thing happens. But you see, this guy's just like Barry.
Would you say that you then, one, shucking your responsibility, but two, sort of giving your power away to Barry or this new boss, whoever your boss is, giving it to them to be like, no, it's your fault because if you didn't say to me that I must do X, I wouldn't have, if you let me tell you that I'm going to do based on, because I know my capabilities, right? So I know what I'm capable of. So now you come and you tell me this is what you must do. And already, I actually didn't want to do that anyway, but you don't actually admit that, which I think is another topic for its own thing. But is that also a piece of you giving your power away when you now say, it's their fault, it's not mine, that's why I'm jumping ship and I'm going elsewhere?
Absolutely, we do that very easily. We give our power away because now Barry's the problem, not me. Barry's the weak link, Barry's the thing. So I'm going to take me and I'm going to go over to, I don't know, not Uncovering Greatness. It's another training program. I'm going to, join some other training organization and do their social media posts, and I go over there and now this boss is it.
Also an asshole. Somehow still keep happening to me.
Instead of me going, what part did I play? Okay, so I managed to do this. Yes, I had 1 month where I didn't do anything because of X, Y, and Z. But what do I learn from that? How can I get better? How can I do that? So by taking responsibility, you take back your power. If you don't take back if you're not responsible for something, you give away your power.
Yeah.
And then it's Barry's fault. Oh, this sucks.
And I mean, also another interesting one which I've seen from like workplace, when I would deem as workplace trauma, is when like a company or a team closes a big deal. So we're gonna celebrate this big deal, right? We just closed it. Let's call it a 5 million rand tender or 5 million rand business, and it's really gonna help the business for the next few months. It's a positive. It's a big positive because it's money coming in. So what the boss decides, cool, you're gonna go out and you're gonna splurge, have a good time. But now all of a sudden we're never hitting those highs of the 5 million again. We're making money, but we're just not doing the 5 million. How much does, from a negative, all of a sudden does that become how much does that positive become a negative and all of a sudden start eating away at people?
Yeah, so it's very much, often teams don't acknowledge the things that they did together and individually.
Okay.
So for example, we hit the 5 million if we don't go and say, well, Sully's social media had an impact. Yes, there was no finances generated, and there's no record of the finances generated. But the social media post that Sully did kept people in our world so that when I phoned them, they knew exactly who I was. So now I could close deals with them. So if we're not acknowledging each person on the team and the role we played, because generally what tends to happen in organizations, it's the salespeople get all the credit.
Oh yeah, that's who closed it.
Because they closed the
They
deal.
close deals.
They brought the money in,
Yep.
money talks.
Yep.
Salespeople.
Money
And
talks.
yet, if you take an organization as a whole, is everybody plays a part. So if the finance team are not keeping track of all the financial records,
That deals.
then we don't know if we're making a profit or not. If the stock department are holding the wrong stock, the salespeople can't go out and sell. Okay, so let's say if we take the whole organization and we go, we take the stock guys in the warehouse and we say, you guys did an incredible job. You got the stock up to date. You made sure we had all the right stock in place. You made sure we all knew how to find it. That's why we hit the 5 million. Well done. Financial department. You guys did X, Y, and Z. This worked, this didn't. The stock department. This worked, this didn't. The marketing department. This worked, this didn't.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're looking at the negative and the positive in every area. And that's why, as an organization, we hit the 5 million. But if we're not acknowledging every team member for what they did, the part they played, you know, well done, Sully, for your Facebook posts. Well done, Michaela, for your sales. Well done, you know, Sully, for all the stock and holding the right stock. If we're not going through and acknowledging all those things, then what happens is next year the stock team go, well, it's only the sales team that get recognized. So
I don't need to do much.
doesn't matter if I get stock or not. It doesn't matter if I huck a few pens here and a shirt there, and no one will notice because I mean they didn't notice when I was doing well. So no, it doesn't really matter. And then now suddenly there's glitches, and we can't understand why we're not getting back to the 5 million.
Okay.
Because now, why is there a problem in stock? The stock's not adding up.
We didn't have this issue before. How
We've never had this issue, so I don't understand why it's different.
And now sales is fighting with stock guys because they're like, what is going on, guys? Like,
and so we're now hovering at that 4 million, and then the maybe the stock team go, maybe I shouldn't be, you know, walking around with a few extra pens. Maybe I should put a little bit more work in because I don't like the fact that the sales team is pointing fingers at me. So let's jack up the stock, and the financial team are going, well, they're getting away with stuff, so why do we have to do that? So you just get the stocks right, and then the finances go out. And so suddenly you find yourself another quarter, another year, we're hovering around the 5 million. We're not quite getting there.
we can't break past it.
We can't break past that. But all it is because in the beginning we did not acknowledge the part that everybody played.
And that's a fascinating thing that you say there, because I think that even as far as the cleaning team, right, to be able to ensure that you can have a meeting room to be able to meet where you can pitch and present to whoever is selling you, wherever you get the 5 million from. If the tea lady was not there to bring tea or to make sure that she played her, and it seems so insignificant.
Yep.
But it's such a big role, but you don't realize the effects that had on a person, because the person is probably more than likely not going to speak about it. Right?
Well, because they're not even aware. Like, because the cleaning lady comes in and empties your dustbin and makes tea and puts it down, and most people are not aware of the time that it takes to go, boil the kettle, stand in the kitchen, wait for the kettle, and then come back. They just...
Tea arrives.
Tea just arrives, so they have no concept of how valuable a cleaning lady is.
I feel that makes a lot of sense, and I think that you don't, because See, now that we unpack this even more, I think even when I asked them what this topic was supposed to be about, so yes, there's extreme trauma, right? I
Yes.
fell off a machine and
Cut my arm off.
cut my arm. Should cut your arm off. I was not thinking that. But yes, that's a bloody big trauma, right? But those traumas, which I would, in my opinion, and you can tell me, those are a lot more rare, right? The instance of something like that happening every month, somebody falling and cutting their arm off,
It's less likely.
it's less likely.
Hopefully it doesn't happen.
Well, if it does, then as in construction, whatever company you guys are in, you need to sort out some stuff. But it's more the little, small, minuscule things that eventually start adding up, right? Like a day-to-day. So I'm the cleaning lady and I'm not getting seen. But I have to, exactly like you said, I'm standing and waiting for the kettle to boil. Then I gotta come back to you. Then I gotta clean your cup. I'm cleaning your bin 3-4 times a day because you're throwing. But I don't get recognized, I don't get noticed, I don't get seen. That affects this person way more in the long run. And that person then comes to Nicole, who's part of, we're on the same team. Have you noticed that these guys don't notice us? You notice that they treat us like nonsense. And all of a sudden you create like a small little revolt within the system.
And so the cleaning lady goes, well, they don't recognize us, so they're not. So it doesn't matter if their tea's 5 minutes late. And suddenly 5 minutes become 10 minutes, which becomes half an hour, and suddenly the tea lady's not bringing you tea at 10 o'clock, she's only bringing it in the afternoon. And you
see her for most of the day all of a sudden.
And then it becomes, oh well, I'll go get my own tea at 10 o'clock, because I can't wait for... I've got a meeting in half an hour, so I don't know how long she's going to be and where she's going to be, and I can't find her, and I don't have time to go look for her, so I'll go make my own tea. And the cleaning lady goes, you see.
Oh, now you're taking my job.
Yeah, you see. They don't need us. You see, they don't want us, because now you can see they're even making their own tea. They don't even need us, you see. See, they're trying to get rid of us. So now we must protest.
Yep.
Because they
don't respect us. They don't care for the work that we do, and all of that stemmed from something as simple as them not being part of the recognition of the 5 million that was made.
But sometimes it's just as simple as someone going, "Thanks for bringing me tea."
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be the recognition of the 5 million. Because generally the tea lady has no concept of the 5 million.
Yeah.
But if we just recognize the work that she did, which is every day, thank you for cleaning my bins, I appreciate it. And we're not talking financial reward, we're talking recognition.
As a human being.
As a human being, recognizing, and this is where it comes in. Do you know the people that work for you? Do you know their names? Do you know the cleaning lady's names? Have you taken the time to get to know them? And it's quite fascinating, because I've heard one of the studies that they did around people on the street that stand at the intersections and beg for money. And one of the guys said that he gets more out of somebody saying hello to him than he does out of people giving him money. Because he said, because 95% of people, when they drive past, actually look the other way. Guilty. Done it. Because I don't want to feel guilty because I don't have any money on me, so I'll look the other way. Instead of going, good morning, have a nice day.
You see, you said that. I was just thinking in my head, I don't want to own up to that on camera. But the way you just explained that, please bear with me, guys, I understand. But the way you explained that is actually spot on. Like, yeah, I may not have money, I may not have anything to give you right now, but I can give you a hello. I can give you a hello.
Or a smile. Or
I can acknowledge your existence.
I can just acknowledge your existence.
Yeah.
And this is what the research found, is that a lot of those people actually just want acknowledgement.
Just see me.
But having said that, I mean, there's the saying, babies cry for it and grown men die for it. They just want people around the world just want to be acknowledged. So whether you are, a cleaning lady, a beggar on the street, or the CEO of an organization, or most people are just looking for recognition. They just want to be seen. They just want to be acknowledged. So it's like when you go to the grocery store, and I always tell the story of the checkers people that scan the bags. Do you want a bag? And you say no, thank you, and they scan the bag. All you got to do is acknowledge them. Good morning, Mary. How are you? Mary, thank you. As you see them going to take the bag, say, Mary, don't worry, I don't need a bag, thank you. Instead of, you see, these people, and then we have now a racist argument because these people, who are you referring to by these
Which people
people?
exactly are you talking about? Speak clear.
And it's a completely innocent comment. and it's
What you actually just meant is cashiers at Pick and Pay. That's all I actually meant.
Or checkers or wherever they are.
I wasn't being racist.
When I said these people, I was just meaning these cashiers.
Yes.
And of course the cashier goes, you see, she's racist. The next time she comes in here, I'm not serving her. I'm going to make, exactly.
I'm going to make...
And so it's, these things get taken way out of context.
100%.
And I mean, I use the example, Michaela and her boyfriend went to a coffee shop Saturday morning after payday weekend. It's super busy and it's quite chaotic, and the breakfasts arrive and the eggs are hard instead of soft. And so what they did is they called the waiter over and said, we're really sorry, we did ask for soft eggs. Is it okay if you bring us soft eggs, because these are a little bit hard, we're not going to enjoy them. The irony of this, they came home with a box full of pastries from the coffee shop because the manager came and said, thank you so much for not making a scene.
Oh my gosh, that is
because
dark.
Most
sad.
people here make a scene and scream and yell. And everybody makes mistakes, and we're very sorry that we got your order wrong, but thank you for not making a scene in the coffee shop and for being so nice about it, the mistake that we made with your order. So they came back with this box of pastries. And it's as simple as they were decent about it. They were like, okay, sorry, this isn't what we ordered. But they didn't scream and yell, say, hey you, this is wrong, who do you think you? And so they're recognizing that they were dealing with people that make mistakes, or having a bad day, or just got the wrong order, or mixed things, because the coffee shop's so busy, because it's mundane. But most people are going, I'm in a hurry and you've stuffed up my food. But again, it goes back to, they will always go back to that coffee shop because now they were recognized for doing the right things. I was treated well. And so it's a positive. And so can you, and I guess it comes back to, can you recognize the behaviors in people that you want to get? And can you acknowledge the right behaviors? And it's something that, with my dog training, I have, for those of you who are not aware, my pride and joy is my pit bull. And if you've been on any of our podcasts or in any of our rooms, you will have heard of me talk about Bella.
If she was human,
she's famous.
She'd be very confused as to why you keep using me as an example.
But it is such a great example because the more I get upset with Bella, the less she's going to do. Okay. People are the same.
Yeah.
The more you get upset with them, the less they're going to do. Which we know, but we still think that it's going to work.
Yeah.
So we still scream and yell at people. How dare you? How many times do you have to tell you? Don't put the bottle on the table.
And then I leave going, okay, he's not going to put the bottle on the table. It's fine. I told him again.
And
tomorrow happens and it's like, bottle's there again.
And so it creates all these games in people because I'm going to put the bottle on the table and see if I can get a reaction.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get him pissed off again.
Now I'm just doing it as, now I'm just being an asshole.
But if I go back to Bella, is that she gets rewarded for doing good behavior. And so, in terms of with a dog, if you say sit, and they sit. Now, it becomes, now I say sit and she sits where she is, but now is she sitting where I want her to sit? So now I'm refining the movement. So now, when I say sit, and she's walking next to me, if my hand is not in the right place, she's going to sit in the wrong place. So now I've refined the behavior. I've got her to do what I want, but now I can work on me to adjust me so that I can get her to sit, go down in the most optimum place that I need her to. Because if I stop and I say sit, go down, and she lies across in front of me, I can't keep walking. I need her to lie down beside me on the side. So by adjusting my hand, I can get her to lie down beside me. If the leash is too loose, she's going to go in front of me. Okay, so people are exactly the same. So it is important for us to make sure that we do that.
Yeah, well,
time is up.
Gents, thank you for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I hope that there was valuable lessons that you picked up. Please let us know in the comment section. Really been appreciating your guys' feedback. Thank you for joining us again on a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. Thank you, Nicole, for your time, knowledge, and wisdom. We'll see you guys next week. Be blessed.
Bye.